Our Renia cork filler is a product that is mostly used as a filler in welted shoes. So basically, you use it both for bespoke shoes, you use it in shoe industry. In that case, you'd use a larger container. We have this in 15 kilogram buckets as well for industrial users, and we have it in smaller cans for bespoke makers and for leather workers. So in a welted shoe, this is traditionally used to fill the hollow area between the welt and then apply the outsole to that. So what you would do in that case, you would coat the leather, the shoe bottom, with a rubber cement, rubber solution like our Renia Gummilösung, our Renia rubber solution as a base, as an adhesion promoter, and because the binder in here is also a type of rubber cement, rubber solution, this interacts very well, and you can then fill the cavity with the cork filler. You let it dry for several hours. On thinner layers of about 1 centimeter or so, you can get away with a drying time of 1 to 3 hours, depending on what you want to do. If you want to really grind, sand this midsole, this cork midsole in shape, you should wait several hours or overnight just to be on the safe side, let it completely dry. Compared to an adhesive layer of a similar thickness, of course, this dries much quicker. Most adhesive layers only come up to a layer thickness of order of magnitude 100 micrometers or more, a couple tens of micrometers in some cases. This can be applied a couple of centimeters thick, but you do not just have the adhesive here that would form a closed film. You have the cork granulate here as well that allows it to dry much easier, but still you have to look at several hours of drying time with those thick layers. Now, especially with a smaller can like this, make sure to store it upside down or to rotate it when you store it to make sure that the binder doesn't accumulate too much on one side. Well, it's not strictly necessary, it's helpful. If it does accumulate, you can always stir it up again before use to distribute it evenly. So application in shoes is one application. We also produce a conductive variant, an anti-static variant for safety shoes, which is black. The regular cork filler is natural cork color, light brown. The anti-static version is black. It has a special conductive agent in there, graphite in this case, to make it conductive and to make it suitable for safety footwear. So application in shoes is one. It's not just used in shoe making, that is certainly the most typical application, but also in shoe repair. If you are working on a welded shoe that has this cork footbed inside, the benefit of using this in place of cork sheets is that you can sort of walk your own footbed into the midsole, which makes for a very nice walking experience. Now, if that needs to be replaced because the outsole has worn down that much that you're actually into the midsole area, or because the cork has crumbled completely and you cannot salvage it anymore, you could of course replace that by a cut cork sheet, but that won't be as flexible and as moldable as this is, even when it's dry. So if you want to replace the original cork filler in a shoe like that, in a high quality men's shoe in most cases, that's where this is used, you can use this to recreate the same effect and coat the surface with rubber cement as a primer, use this after an appropriate drying time, leave it to dry, and then grind it in shape, put the outsole on, and there you go. That is the classic application of the cork filler. There are two more, and of course as many more on top of that as you can figure out, so it is something that invites experimentation certainly. One other application that we can think of is as a filler for hollow heels and hollow soles in repair and in shoe modification mostly. This can be done on TPR soles, typical for their hollow and kind of honeycomb-like structure. And because these offer only a small surface area for bonding for the adhesive to grab onto, this can greatly increase that by filling those cavities, filling those holes. Same with hollow heels, hollow polystyrene heels. This is a very lightweight material, so even though you're filling, you're not necessarily increasing the weight of the shoe by a whole lot. Make sure though to keep in mind that this material, if applied in very thick surfaces, does some shrinking. It's not that drastic, but if you're filling such a hollow area, make sure that after it dries, you might want to apply a little bit more and let it dry again, just to make sure that you have the full thickness there, and that you can actually support the glue that you put on there. The third application is very interesting for leather workers. If you do plug embossing or embossing in general, what is used, well, instead of sometimes you use a cut to shape a leather plug, but also often for the finer structures you would use leather dust mixed with rubber cement. This would replace that. So you get the same effect. You have a fine Cork granulate in here that gives you great support for the work, for the carving you do on top. But it is much quicker, it is much easier, it dries quicker, it comes pre-made in the right combination, in the right formulation for this kind of work, and you actually don't see it from the outside. The final effect you get is just like with the leather dust, if not better, as far as the support from the bottom is concerned, but it's much easier, it's much quicker, and it just gives you a great result. As I said, it's something that invites experimentation, so if you can figure out other uses, let us know if you come up with anything interesting. What we would not recommend is to use it as a cork repair paste. So on a cork footbed, I wouldn't necessarily use it. It won't give you the same strength as such a bonded footbed or a bonded cork sheet. This is intended to be on the inside. It's not intended to be walked on or to be on the edge of a shoe or of a sandal. It's not really designed for that. Other than that, as with any Renia product, if you use it the right way, it's a great product. It can achieve really good results, and it's actually something we're looking forward to of bringing to the market.